Hello, teachers! Today, we will learn key messages to help parents, caregivers manage children's stress and anxiety. In many Asian cultures, teachers and educators are respected and regarded as reliable sources of information and support. Many parents and caregivers often seek the advice and help of teachers and school leaders when they are faced with problems, especially if these affect their children. During this pandemic, everyone is facing difficulties. Parents and caregivers of the children you teach could come to you for help and advice. So, as teachers, you must communicate the right messages that will be helpful. In this video, I will share 3 important key messages that you can share with parents and caregivers of your students. You can use these key messages when you are talking with the parents individually. You can also communicate these messages when you meet parents as a group. For example, when you conduct parents' briefing or parent-teacher meetings at the beginning of the school term. This way, the parents of all of your students can learn and be reminded of the same important messages. Key message 1. Put the oxygen mask on yourself first. When you fly on an airplane, the flight attendant instructs you to put your oxygen mask on first before helping others. Because if you run out of oxygen yourself, you can't help anyone else with their oxygen mask. Or put more simply, if you are in trouble and are too distressed, you can't help anyone else, not even your child. So parents and caregivers should ensure that they get the help to address their own anxieties and difficulties first. Schools and teachers can give information to parents and caregivers about the resources, helpline, and contact phone numbers of people in the community that can help them when they feel distressed or face specific difficulties, such as financial, housing, or shelter. If they are unsure of where to go for help, encourage parents to contact you or school personnel who can provide psychological first aid. Assure them that you will try to point the way where they can get help and give a listening ear. Remember, do not overpromise and do not say that you will help solve their problems. Recall what we learned earlier in this module about providing psychological first aid. As educators, your role as a provider of psychological first aid is to assess the immediate concerns and needs of an individual in distress and to point the way forward to appropriate sources of help. You are not there to provide on-site therapy or give financial or physical assistance directly. Key message 2. Parents and school must work together. As the African proverb says, it takes a village to raise a child. In this pandemic, all the more reason the village or community stakeholders must work together. Parents, school, professionals, and the community. One of the important ways that parents can work with teachers and the school is to look out for signs of worry and anxiety in their child. Parents can share what they observe about their child at home. As mentioned in earlier videos, girls, and more strikingly, girls with disabilities, may be impacted differently in stressful conditions. Thus, it is best to provide more comfort and support accordingly in this situation. Parents can learn the strategies that teachers are using in school to help children manage stress and ask how they can do the same at home. This brings us to the 3rd and final key message. What can and should parents do at home to manage children's stress and anxiety? Children spend more time at home with their parents and caregivers than with teachers in school. This is even more so during lockdowns in this pandemic. So as parents and caregivers, there are a few important tips that they can learn to help their children manage their stressors at home. I will share with you 2 important ways. Firstly, as parents, they can use helpful words at home with their child to manage stress and anxiety. When children express to them about their fears and worry about the pandemic, parents should choose words that validate the child's feelings. Say things like, "I know this must feel scary for you." Don't say things like, "You don't need to be afraid of that." When children are feeling worried, it is not helpful to tell them what not to feel. Instead, they need to know that their parents recognize and understand what they are feeling. At the same time, do not exaggerate or make the problem sound bigger than it is. For example, when children share that they are afraid that they may catch COVID and die, say to them, "Yes, this is a little scary." Don't say, "It's the scariest thing in the world." Then, reassure them with facts that if they and everyone else follow good habits like wearing a mask and keep social distance measures, they will likely not catch COVID and will stay safe and healthy. Other examples of reassuring words for an anxious child are, "Anxiety always goes away." "Everyone feels worried sometimes, it's normal." "Missing one night of sleep isn't a disaster." Parents' words should also aim to show their confidence in their child. They can give the assurance that they believe that their children can do it. They can tell them, "You can handle this." Don't tell them, "I will handle this for you." In addition to using helpful words, parents can also do these strategies that can prevent anxiety and stress from becoming too much for the child. By partnering with parents and caregivers, you, as teachers, can help ensure that the children that you work with have access to positive support, both at home and in school. Now you know the key messages you can give to parents and caregivers to enable them to help their children manage stress and anxiety at home. Thank you for watching.